Coming up on Mountain News this morning, business owners in our region reflect on historic flooding that hit our area nearly 1 year ago. And the threat of heavy rain this week could cause some issues for another county affected by historic flooding last year.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It is Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Good morning. I'm Dakota McChrist. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at that forecast. Brandon, I've already forgotten what day it is.
It's like Ron Burgundy over there. Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah. It is the 23rd day of February, and we are getting ready to talk about some rain that is on the way out for now, but it will not last too long. We see there heaviest pockets moving out of the region for this morning. More will come later tonight. The flood watch goes for about another hour or so. I bet there'll be another before it's all said and done later today. Take a look at visibility. That's taking a bit of a hit this morning, down to less than 1 mile in Moorhead, 3 miles in Somerset and Monticello, 4 miles in Harlan. Remember, anything less than 5 miles on this map is pretty thick fog, and watch those temperatures drop. We basically had a midnight high, or right after midnight high, so we only go down from here. I think we go down into the low 40s by about mid-morning, and then we start to stabilize into the upper 40s later today. But you see temperatures right there, 38 in Lexington, 55 in London, Williamsburg and Jacksboro, 56 in Jackson this morning. Across the area, look at the wind shift. Some of it coming out of the north, some of it coming from the south still, but that's getting fewer and far between. It is still cranking out there, at least for the moment. We'll talk about the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you. Well, in Lee County, business owners are reflecting on the upcoming 1 year anniversary of historic flooding there. Don Bagley of Don Bagley Auto Sales says his business is back and booming, but worries about the rain we are expecting.
We got rain coming in. I'm hoping, praying we don't get no more flood this time, you know. It'd be a disaster if we got a March 1st flood again, 1 year anniversary of the last flood and everything.
Well, Bagley tells us he was back open during the same week the flood happened, but had to have more than 100 cars crushed. And flooding could be an issue in Estill County as the week goes on. The National Weather Service says the Kentucky River is expected to crest around 32 feet there, around 9 feet below the 41-foot crest seen last year. But unlike last year, locals say there is plenty of time to prepare, which is exactly what the president of the Fair Board is doing, thanks to friends, family, and workers. And they are trying to get everything off the property so they do not lose it all again a second time.
First things to go are the horses. We always get those out first. Once the horses are out, we'll start evacuating every building, all of our equipment, out of our concession stands, all of our farm equipment. It's just all got to go.
Well, now emergency management says one thing that makes flooding so bad along the Kentucky River is that they have to watch rainfall that continues to get to the southeast, because that also contributes to how high the river will get. Well, the wife of a Knox County magistrate who recently died will now serve out what is left of his term. Stacey Roark died earlier this month. Officials posted on the Knox County Fiscal Court Facebook page that he served the county for 19 years. Governor Andy Beshear appointed Tina Roark to the position on Monday. She was sworn in Tuesday morning by Judge Executive Mike Mitchell at the courthouse. And at Tuesday's Chamber of Commerce event in Lexington, Senator Mitch McConnell addressed the escalating crisis in Ukraine. The senator says the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan sent a message to autocrats around the world that America is not interested in playing a larger international role. He believes that Russia would not have hundreds of thousands of troops on the Ukraine border if the U.S. had not gone through the withdrawal.
Vladimir Putin said at the end of the Cold War that the breakup of the old Soviet Union was the single biggest political mistake in world history. This is a man who yearns for empire.
Well, the senator singled out support for NATO and previous expansions into old Soviet republics, but would not advocate for Ukraine joining NATO. However, he believes the Ukrainians should rather side with the U.S. than Russia if given the choice. Well, the senator talked about the upcoming Supreme Court appointment. Senator McConnell promised a more respectful confirmation hearing than now Justice Brett Kavanaugh received. Despite some controversy, he says he does not find it inappropriate that President Joe Biden has promised to nominate a black woman.
President Reagan promised to put a woman on the Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor. President Trump promised to put a woman on the Supreme Court when Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away.
Well, the president's nominee will face confirmation in the Senate to succeed Justice Stephen Breyer after his retirement at the end of the current session. Well, Kentucky is continuing to see lower COVID-19 case totals. Here's a look at yesterday's report. 3,300 new cases were announced yesterday in Kentucky, along with 17 more deaths. The positivity rate is also down again. It's at 12.18%. Hospitalizations are up slightly, but the number of people in the ICU and on a ventilator have declined. We've also learned that Harlan County schools will be making masks optional effective immediately, except for when on school buses. The mask mandate remains in effect on buses through March 18th. And recognizing National Children's Dental Health Month, Anthem Medicaid officials are making some special deliveries. Students at 6 Eastern Kentucky schools will be getting toothbrushes and educational materials. This Brighter Smiles, Brighter Futures campaign started in part from a CDC estimated that roughly 34 million school hours are lost annually because of unplanned dental care.
We feel like it's important to get those toothbrushes and those checklists in the schools so that children can start brushing correctly at a young age.
Now, the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services says that fewer than half of the children covered by Medicaid or CHIP receive dental services. Well, 6-year-old Colton Ramey of Painesville has battled multiple health issues on and off at Cincinnati Children's Hospital for months, and lengthy hospital stays mean financial burdens. In order to help Colton and his mother, Heather, Junior's Hibachi food truck held a fundraiser at the Lowe's parking lot in Painesville yesterday. A percentage of sales and donations goes directly to Heather and Colton.
It's heartwarming for sure, because a lot of people, they don't have to come support him. They have a choice to go anywhere else. They don't have to come here, and a lot of people are giving donations, keep the change here and there, and we're just glad to see, everybody, when people are down, to help out.
Colton's aunt, Amy Blair, says Heather is grateful for the community's support throughout his journey. Well, thank you so much for getting your Wednesday morning started with us here. When we come back, a man receives a painful surprise while fishing near the Bahamas and needs to be rescued while out at sea.
Well, the rain chances should wrap up for a little while later this morning. We are not out of the woods just yet. I'll have the latest on what we could still see this week in about 3 minutes.